Okay then, Helldivers, we are back. We have got loads to go over today, as we have got a new invasion happening on Yalivar. It calls all Helldivers to support, and the horror story continues. We're going to take a look into that one in just a moment, as well as B-Vitamin coming up with a statement with regards to the Killzone armor, but we may well be reading too deep into it. It could essentially mean that if you've not got it, you may not actually get it. And we're going to talk about player social hubs, because this seems to be probably one of the biggest topics in the last 24 hours, and I'm intrigued to know what your opinions are of it. For those of you guys who are interested in the live streams, we are going to be live later on today. It's the kids' holidays in the UK, and I am a single dad at home, so give me a little bit of a chance on that one, but we will be live at some stage during today to do some runs to support Yalivar with you guys, so make sure that you stay tuned to it. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure that you check out our sponsor, GamerSups. The company that's main goal is to offer esports athletes and all gamers alike with the most effective and healthy energy drink choice compared to those energy drinks in tins that we're all used to help you perform to your highest potential. Now, it's completely keto friendly, less than 1 calorie, and completely sugar free. It's a no-brainer. The link's in the description. If you use code CloudPlays at checkout, you'll get yourself a cheeky discount. Thank you to all those that have gone ahead and got it and supported the channel until this point. But let's dive on into the video and see what it is that we've got happening today. So, taking a look at the Galactic War Table as of right now, we have got a new invasion in play where automaton dropships fill the sky of Yalivar. All Helldivers are called to its defense. Now, this is a part of the major order, and I know we've all got our Yalivar horror stories. This is not a planet that we wanted to be heading back over to, but for the next 8 hours, there is a defense campaign on there, and it's highly important that we actually secure it. Now, a lot of you guys are still on Tarsh with an average resistance narrative, but we need to make sure that we solidify this one, or else we're going to have to retake it again afterwards, and it's definitely not in my bingo card for today to want to go ahead and redo that one. So Yalivar needs the defense operation right now. Make sure you go ahead and support. Like I stated, we are going to be supporting over there later on. If you want to jump on in, make sure you got the post notifications turned on so you don't miss the live streams. Nonetheless, it is a very interesting one, and with your personal order being able to extract from successful missions against automatons 3 times, it's pretty much a no-brainer. For those of you guys wondering though, your superstore is still at the executioner and the paramedic for the next 24 hours, so if you are aiming to get hold of that one, your time is now running short before we move into the next rotation. But moving from that though, we have got a lot to take a look at, as B-Vitamin has taken back to the Discord, as a lot of people have been asking about the Killzone 2 armor, which was obviously given out for free. Well, it was given out for free if you were an active player at that time period, and if you wasn't, well, then you weren't able to get it at all because it never hit the store. A lot of you guys have been wondering when you're going to be able to obtain it, because you were obviously inactive for months previously, and well, we've actually got a full message coming from B-Vitamin that may explain that you may not actually get it at all. It states right here, so after you stopped playing, you still will be given MO rewards, even if you haven't participated in them for a couple of months, up until the point your account becomes inactive, and then you'll stop getting them until you become active again. The Killzone items were sent out on December 19th between 3 and 5 PM CET, if you recall, so if you were inactive and didn't become active again until after that time, you wouldn't have gotten them. It is the same system used to pay out major orders. Regarding updates to getting them, currently the key developers who will make the decision are on holiday vacation. Once they are back, they can decide whether or not players who were inactive or weren't playing the game when these items were released should actually get them. Player support has no information beyond this. I don't have an ETA, so whether you guys are actually going to be receiving those items or not is yet to be known. Whether that's a good decision or not, again, is yet to be known. I'm intrigued to know what your opinions are in the comment section below, but if you are inactive as a player for around 2 months, it kind of says it on the tin, man. I'm not too sure how I feel about this one, and hopefully they make the right choice. Knowing Arrowhead, the likelihood is you'll still probably receive them, but we have to wait for them to get back off their December holidays. We are now on January 6th, so we are likely to be waiting maybe about another week before we have the full development team into play, hopefully, and we'll see exactly where that one actually goes. But moving into things that you guys have actually wanted and been asking for, this last week has brought up some massive ideas, and and, well, the last 24 hours has been no exception. As somebody put up right here that this would be nice. Saw this today and couldn't agree more. I would love to see a place to try new stuff. Now, the actual movement on this states that Arrowhead and Helldivers 2, this might be a huge ask, but could we get a social hub to meet other divers with a training ground to test guns and stratagems? Kind of like COD. I think that it would be sick, but completely understandable if not. Now, obviously, this is something that has been a conversation for quite some time, since maybe even like the construction of the DSS. We all thought that was going to be our social hub, and we kind of hoped that we'd be able to walk around the DSS, given its large stratosphere that it has around it, and be able to actually utilize it as a social hub concept. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen, and actually even now the DSS still isn't even viable actions. There is nothing we can do with it. It's completely offline, but I digress. This is going to be one of those things where it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing. Now, given the way that the Helldivers servers work, I can't imagine this is ever going to play a factor. Somebody actually asked for the complete opposite though, so I want to know which side of the table you are on. This states right here, this game does not need a player hub for several reasons. It is against the laws. Divers are frozen immediately after training and only thaw for missions, then froze again if not immediately redeployed. All of them are either dead, frozen, or fresh recruits able to deploy. It would be a spammy hellhole unless it is limited to few players, kind of Dark Tide-like, but in that case, it is literally just your destroyer already. You are already can interact with your squad on your destroyer, and those that want it would have to get old quick. This is not an MMORPG, nor a space-like simulator. Once you spammed emotes, read a few slurs, and saw people running in circles, it is pretty much done. It's a waste of dev resources, and the team is relatively small and have a lot on their agenda already. Story progression, new biomes, new planets, robot settlements, Terminator taking over cities, underground fighting we have a taste of, new war bonds, weapons, stratagems, new units for enemies, and actually this is actually the most solid point I've seen yet. When it comes to how it is that the developers utilize their resources, they are quite a small team in hindsight. Now, we do have some co-development teams coming from other dev studios that are supporting on the sidelines, but even then I don't think that that would be enough. If we want to utilize the development process for things such as social hubs, it may well mean that the wrong decisions are being made, and potentially the content we could have at a later date may well be the worst kind. So I think what we should do is leave Arrowhead to cook and let them do exactly what they have been doing and making the decisions on their own grounds, because when you can do stuff like this, it makes the game a complete game changer. This right here is a laser only stratagem run. This received nearly 15,000 upvotes, and aesthetically this has got to be the most pleasing thing I've ever seen in quite some time, and it's definitely made me want to go ahead and run this loadout, and it's something that I will be doing later on today, and making my subscribers utilize the same loadout for Carnage Infestation, maybe on the Illuminate sector, to really push out how those lasers can work. This for me is great, and if you haven't tried it out already, then make sure you load it up with the laser cannon, the sickle, or the scythe, depending on what you want to use, and then have the laser backpack drone. It's just chaos. With an orbital laser, the game is practically over, so go ahead and have some fun with it. I definitely recommend it. And another quick Warbond insight that people are looking at, this is the Liberty Crusade with the LC-96 Templar armor, which I can never really see entering the game, but again, we are so leaning into the melee weapons inside of this, it is crazy. The PS1 Excalibur sword would be really, really cool. A kite shield backpack, again, I can't really see coming into play, but my thing right here is the magnetic battle axe. This looks incredible, and I actually really like the idea of it, alongside the rail bow, which likely will not come because we already have the crossbow, but a few things in this I actually think are pretty damn cool. Let me know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below of this, and what pieces you would take out of it. When we showcase these sort of Warbond concept ideas, we don't do it because we want the whole thing, but I do quite like the idea of nitpicking and pulling things out for certain ideas, and hopefully Arrowhead see these sorts of things and are doing the same. I think that the magnetic battle axe tomahawk style would be absolutely incredible, and would just be so much more appealing than actually utilizing the knives, because let's be real, the knives are okay, but the angling on them is horrible, the aiming is terrible, and the damage is pretty okay, to be honest. That's if you can manage to get it to hit. Anywho, nonetheless, we're going to dive into your top comments because you guys have got a lot to say about the studio and what it is that they're doing right now. This states right here, a AA game with player numbers so close to games like Call of Duty makes me happy. This game deserves to live on for years. Now, 100%, what we're clearing at the moment is around 100,000 concurrent players per day at any given time, which is absolutely incredible, and I really love to see it. Maybe going as low as about 50,000, but even then, for numbers when it comes to these gaming studios these days, they are absolutely incredible numbers, and especially for Helldivers Lifeline, it's so glad to be able to see it be revived and revitalized that it just makes me extremely happy to see that it's finally getting the attention it finally deserves. And this one right here states, shooting range to try out weapons before you buy them, that way you won't waste super credits. Now, this is actually a really good idea, and we've heard this a few times, with super credits being something that you guys are quite, well, profoundly worried about, obviously, and I think the Killzone crossover really showed that you don't want to be using your super credits at a whim. This could be actually really, really helpful. Being able to try things out in a shooting range or a stratagem range before you actually make a purchase could really change up the game on how it is that you want to use this, and I think this is a really, really good idea, and make it so that you're using your stratagems purchases to a valid usage. And finally right here it states, we desperately need something to sink samples and rec slips into so badly. We need a reason to grab things again. Now, yes, obviously the DSS was our sinking hole of the samples that we were able to obtain, and the rec slips as well, but obviously that's been taken offline for now, and hopefully when they get back into the studios and manage to do their rework on how the DSS operates, that it will finally be back up and running. We'll have to wait and see as to whether that's actually the case, but yeah, we are slowly starting to build up those rec slips and be able to build up those sample listings again, because the DSS has now been down for quite some time. Nonetheless, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. You guys have been incredible this last few months. I genuinely cannot thank you enough. Thanks again, and for those of you guys who are wondering, over the next week or so, I will be in Romania. The live streams will be pretty much on hold, but the videos will continue while I'm out there. We'll be remaining in there until around Monday next week, so do make sure that you stay tuned to it. We've got a couple of days of live streams before we get back over there and start exploring again. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate you all so much, and as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.